I spent years of my career trying to do one thing: find the pattern everyone else missed. I am a forensic accountant, and my job was to look at numbers, the transactions, the things that didn't quite add up, and see the story hiding underneath. But there was one pattern I couldn't see, and it was my own. When I was young, my mom and dad split up. My dad wasn't a great guy, he was abusive, and my mom was brave enough to leave. I grew up surrounded by people who loved me: my grandma, my uncles, my aunties, my mom. I had wonderful cousins. On paper, I had everything. But inside, there was a hole. I carried this quiet feeling that because my mom and dad weren't together, something about me was off. And so I did what a lot of us do. I pulled inward, so I spent a lot of my childhood alone. That feeling, that fear of being alone became the pattern that shaped most of every choice I made for the next 15 years. At 16, I stayed in a relationship that wasn't right for me. It wasn't a good fit. There wasn't anything particularly wrong with it. I just didn't want to be alone. At university, I did it again and again. Most of them didn't fit. I hadn't really thought about it, to be honest, because the fear of being alone was stronger or louder than any red flag. Then I met someone during my master's program. It felt like a perfect fit for only one reason. He was a loner, just like me. And that was it. That was the whole foundation of our relationship. The red flags were there from the very beginning. He told me that something I'd experienced in the past was my fault, that I deserved it. He said I love you before he could have even meant it, because it happened way too quickly. Something in me knew. I shut it down over and over. We were together for 5 years. 5 years of emotional manipulation, isolation from my family and friends, coercive control, of covering him financially while he pushed and pulled until I gave in. Insults, then silent treatment. If I asked a single question, if I asked for accountability for some of his actions, he'll disappear for days, and I'll be the one chasing, apologizing, and begging. And every time I tried to leave, when sense would come into my head, then the messages would come: you're my forever, we're meant to be, forgive me, and I'd fold again and again. And then I was about to turn 30, and it felt like something had finally switched in my head. Something had shifted. I'd done a lot of work on myself. I had friends who loved me. At work, people told me every day who I really was: supportive, capable, kind. And for the first time, I held that up against what was happening in my personal relationship, and it made no sense to me anymore. He'd made a habit of picking a fight around my birthday every single year. Never a gift, always taken. But that year, I was turning 30, and I finally put my foot down. He told me I wasn't wife material. I let him. But then I had a moment, a revelation, an epiphany I'll never forget. And if you know me personally, I'm sure you've heard me say it. I thought to myself, if I could go to the past and tell my mom not to marry my dad, that would be so amazing. But something inside of me, the Holy Spirit said, you can't go to the past, but you can talk to yourself now. Otherwise, you're going to repeat the same mistakes. And that really hit me. I can't go back. None of us can. So I did what I could do. I told myself to do better. I chose to change things now. And somewhere in that, I felt something steady me. I felt God steady me because I'm a Christian. And I got this sense that I wasn't made to keep shrinking to be loved. So I did it. I cut it off completely. He came to the house saying he wanted to marry me, but I said it was over. And this time, I actually meant it. Now, this doesn't mean that it felt easy for me. but I knew that something had to change. After that, I spent months looking back. I looked inwards, I looked backwards, I reflected a lot. And this is the part that really changed everything for me. The forensic accountant, the person literally trained to spot the patterns other people miss, had missed the pattern in her own life because the fear of being alone had blindsided me to it. Every isolation, every compromise, every red flag I explained away, there was a pattern. There's always a pattern. I just couldn't see mine until I was standing on the other side of it. So I did what I know how to do. I took my skills, my forensic skills. I looked at the pattern recognition, the mapping, the data, and I turned them on abuse itself. I turned them on coercive control. And I started researching, looking at the statistics, building a model of how these relationships actually unfold stage by stage. This has taken me quite a few years to work on, and it's taken many layers to get here. But the pattern that took me 15 years to see, I want to help someone else see it in 15 minutes or less. Here's the number that keeps me up at night. 1 in 3 women will experience an abusive relationship, and 1 in 5 men, or 1 in 7 men, depending on where you read it, will experience the same. I don't know about you, but I think that's far too many. I count myself lucky. I never experienced heavy physical abuse, but so many people do. The lucky isn't a strategy, and I want my experience to count for something. It must count for something. So I've committed my life to building empowered people and safer communities. Communities where when someone walks into your space, you can recognize a red flag. And if they can't see it for themselves, the people around them can, because they know what to look for too. That's what this channel is for. That's what I'll be doing videos for. Equipping people, training you to spot the red flags, to spot the pattern, so that you might be able to identify it in your life or the life of a loved one. So that you might be able to go to your campuses, your various communities, your churches, and equip others as well. Because this is a movement that cannot be done by only me or my team. This requires all of us working together. Over the coming weeks, I'm going to walk you through the patterns of abuse most of us were never taught to see. The ones that hide in plain sight. Not to frighten you, but to equip you so you can know better and do better for yourself and for the people you love. If that matters to you, please subscribe and come with me. If you're watching this on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever, join me. Join us. Because I believe in a safer world. And I believe in empowered people. And most importantly, I believe in the potential and the capability of every single human. And it starts with learning to see.